What's happening, everybody? This is Dan with E Before I Video Reviews, here to bring you a review of another Transformers figure, and this is a mouthful. It's Transformers Energon Igniter's Nitro Series Barricade from the Bumblebee movie. Okay, anyway, it's a mouthful to remember, but this is actually a really decent figure. I'm really surprised by this. Now, I'm not going to recommend all of this Nitro series to you because they're not all great. In fact, a lot of the Bumblebee movie figures, in my opinion, maybe aren't super awesome. But this one right here, if you're going to get one, I think this is the one that I would get. He's a pretty big figure. He's Voyager size. And well, let's just get into it. The legs are a little unsightly. We'll talk about that in a minute. But let's go all the way around the figure. He's, again, decent. Minimal kibble on the back. You do have some hollow behind the legs here. And yeah, but he's a nice looking barricade. The face sculpt, I mean, that face is really good. I like that. It's a nice looking barricade face from the movie series. So very cool. Well, let's get into some of the other aspects of this figure, and then you decide if this is something that you think would work for you. He's got this really cool retro vehicle chest, and when we transform him, I'll show you exactly how that comes into play. The arms are pretty decent. You've got blue up here in the shoulders, some nice in plastic molding, nice in plastic unpainted gray for the forearms, and then a different color gray for the fist, which is kind of odd to have two different types of unpainted plastic, but it works. Yeah, so same on the other side. The waist, this is something that I don't notice when I'm actually playing around with it, but he's got this hollow bit right where his belly button would be, which is kind of weird. But moving on, there you've got the unpainted gray right there on the leg, coming down to what I call the Unsightly Legs. They really are terrible. Those are not good legs. And you know what would make this decent? If they painted the legs a different color, if these were darker, they wouldn't be that bad. But as is, it just kind of looks weird. It's better in person than this video is making it out to seem. And when you look at pictures and things, you know, it really doesn't look good at all in pictures. In hand, it's not terrible, but yeah, they could have done a lot with it. Now, articulation is actually not bad. You've got head on, I think it is a ball joint, although because of the plastic, you don't get a ton of movement. Get a little bit of up, down, and you can go all the way around should you choose to do that. The arms, they've got this kind of pinned in joint right here, so you get some flexibility in the shoulders. You do get movement at the shoulder itself, and then the elbow, due to transformation, comes out, looks great. So you get a lot of arm movement. As you can see, there's just a lot you can do, which is surprising because a lot of these Nitro or the Energon Igniter figures, you don't get a lot of movement at all. And so this one's not bad. Now, there's no waist articulation, and unfortunately, you can't bend it here on the thigh. You can't do it. But you do get leg bend, or a knee bend, which is cool. In fact, due to transformation, that can go all the way back. So you can still get some posing done. He's limited. You know, he's not as flexible as a typical adult collector, like a Generations type toy, or, you know, a figure like that. But as is, I think he's got just a lot of playability, and he looks great. So anyway, that's my opinion of that. Now, there is a gimmick. He's got this Nitro Energon. I don't have the packaging right here with me, so I can't remember what this is called. But in robot mode, this is absolutely worthless to you. Does nothing. So toss that aside for now. But when you transform this figure, cool things begin to happen. Let's get him transformed. To do that, it's pretty easy. What you want to do is you want to take the elbows and you want to just straighten that out. Then you want to turn the hand so that the filled-in part of the fist is actually facing outward. There's kind of a hollow side on the other if I spin it that way, so don't do that. Spin it so that it's filled out with the fingers pointing outward, and you're in good shape. Rinse and repeat on the other side. Just turn it, and you're good right there. Now for the head, you want to lift up the chest, like that, just enough. Then take the head, and you want to push this all the way down. All right, and then you can leave that up like that. Now, for purposes of this review, I'm going to go ahead and close this, and I'll show you what this does a little bit later. But you want to get these lined up. It's a little bit of a pain to get it perfect. Let's see if I can get this done on camera. Maybe not. There you go. Hey, I did it. All right, so nice and flat Decepticon symbol on the front. Now what you want to do is take the arms, and at the shoulder there's that joint that I told you about. You want to just move it up and into place. Move it up on the other side. And there's a little tab right there. You see that? Let's get closer. Little tab right there. You just want to get that underneath. Then you're in good shape. Now we're going to come around to the bottom. Going to lock the legs together. Take the feet. Push them on the inside. Take the entire bit right here and fold it up. It'll go over the hands and just kind of squeeze everything together. And there you've got a really cool looking retro 80s barricade. Darken my lens a bit so you can see the whites. There's definitely some panel gappy things going on here. Now you can see that there's a tab right there that's not wanting on my figure to fit flush up inside of the plastic, so it comes out a little bit. But overall, this is not a bad looking car, and it feels nice in the hand too. This side pegs in a lot better than the other side. And you can see why they did the white feet. I mean, these are the legs. And I get it, but I'm kind of thinking that if they reverse the color scheme to where this was dark, these were light, and the rest were dark with maybe light lines, that would be a better fit. But that's just me. Now on the top, you do get a little peg where you can stick a standard size Transformers weapon. So you can certainly do that. And it rolls really well. So rollability, quite nice, which is needed for the gimmick. Paint applications are decent. Again, you've got the blue. I love the chest and the headlights and the kind of painted silver gray right there. That's kind of neat. Decepticon symbol looks great. Love symbols on my Transformers. And again, this looks better in hand than it's coming across on camera. On camera, this is looking like just too many panel gaps, and in person, it's not terrible. Wish they had some paint in the back there. You know, lights on the top that don't light up, but painted okay. And on the bottom, it's not grossly obvious that this is a Transformer, which is always a bonus. So there's that. Now let's get to the gimmick. Put your thumb in the bottom of this and push right through. So the top panels open up, and you've got these cool weapons that suddenly are visible that you saw in robot mode. So very nice. Look at the detail on those real quick. Decent in plastic molding. I like it. Now, as you've noticed, there's a giant hole where the hood is, and there's a reason for that. Now you can take this piece right here, and if you look inside, you see that there's a kind of a slot right there. And what you want to do is you want to take this thing so that the push-down springy bit is on the top, and that your slotted piece is sticking the way that the slot is inside of the vehicle. And I'm going to just kind of wiggle this in place. There you go. Nice solid fit. And now you can see the plastic on the underside kind of holds it in place, which is cool. Now, why is this neat? Because you can take this, and if you push this in, you'll notice that there's a rubber wheel on the bottom here. And it'll spring activate and take off on its own, which is so cool. I'm on a small table, so he doesn't have a lot of room to go. But he does get a little bit of pickup on him. Now, the neat thing about this is these fit in the smaller class Energon Igniter figures as well, and those things take off like little rockets, so that's pretty neat. But they don't come with the smaller versions of these toys, so you do have to pick up one of the larger figures, like Barricade, Bumblebee, there's a Big Prime, a few others in the Nitro series that come with these that you'll need if you want to collect the smaller ones and make them go. But yeah, fun little gimmick, so I dig that a lot. And it's, I'll tell you, this is probably more of a kid's line, but I actually really have a good time playing with this thing. So very cool, even for an adult collector. Again, I do recommend this figure. Let's put him back in robot mode real quick. As I mentioned, he is slightly, he's slightly taller than Voyager scale. There's Generations Voyager class Grimlock. You can see as I go down the line of some other figures that he's got some height to him, and he's definitely Voyager scale as he towers over a deluxe figure. So he's a nice scaled bot. He looks good. He's got decent articulation, although if I'm a collector as an adult and really had like a wish list for this thing, I'd have a movable waist, which is not essential, but boy, the thigh swivel forward would have really made this thing perfect. As is, he's got decent enough articulation. The look of this thing is great. He does have some movability, and he really looks great on a shelf. If you want to put him next to other Voyager-class figures, I don't think he'd look out of place in other figures in the Generations line. The legs, a little unsightly, but if you can deal with the way that the legs come across and some limited articulation, I really do recommend this, and the Energon Ignite gimmick is pretty fun, I'm not going to lie. The little push down the gimmick and let it go across the room is just tons of fun. And if you get smaller figures like this little Megatron right here, this thing flies across the room. It's so cool. So anyway, if you're looking to have some fun with the toys and don't need a million steps to transform and are okay with some of the limitations that I've already pointed out, this might be a great figure for you. I definitely do recommend to pick up on this. But as always, my opinions are mine alone, and you make your own decisions for yourself. I trust you. Anyway, thanks again for watching E Before I video reviews. I'll have more reviews on the way, so if you subscribe to my channel and click on the bell for reminders, you'll be notified when I have a new video out, and that is great because your views mean the world to a channel like mine, so I definitely appreciate it. If you're not already a subscriber and you like this video, consider hitting the subscribe button. And also, E Before I is all over social media. I'll put links in the description. Feel free to look me up on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, everywhere else social media exists. I'll be there somewhere. But anyway, thanks again for watching. We'll see you back here again real soon.